Look, just a quick heads up before I start this unfiltered video, okay? Sit down and listen to this if you really want it to help you. Because frankly, me and you both know that you have a shit attention span just like I did months ago because of constant social media scrolling and other stuff that just completely deteriorates your attention span. Like, it's just complete brain rot. So like I said, if you want this to help you, sit down and watch it and implement what it is I'm talking about, or else, let's be honest, you're not going to make progress. So yeah, just wanted to let you know. All right, let's get to it. Today I want to do a bit of a walk and talk. You know, it's nice weather, so I thought, why not? And today's topic is Ramadan. And for those of you who don't know what Ramadan is, it's basically like a month where you fast, and you fast from approximately sunrise to sunset. There we go. I always get those two confused for whatever reason. But sunrise to sunset, like approximately, and you do it for 30 days. And you do it with no food, but most people do intermittent fasting, so you'll drink water still, but during Ramadan you don't drink water either. So you literally don't have anything, right? And recently I realized that it's been a game changer for my productivity, because I'm able to sit down and focus a lot more than I usually would be able to. And I think this is happening for one simple reason, and that's that I'm delaying any of my food intake. I'm delaying my food intake because think about it, right? I wake up in the morning, eat something. So what my schedule looks like is I wake up for suhoor, which is basically like the time period where you eat right before sunrise and whatnot. And I eat, and then I go to sleep for a little bit, so it helps me kind of like digest. I go to sleep for about like 2 hours after that, like wake up at somewhere around 7 to 8 a.m. And I don't feel any level of hunger during the first 3 hours or so, and I have laser focus. Like, it's amazing. I feel like I can do the most work I've ever been able to do in a long time. And you know, I have some beliefs that conflict with fasting and breakfast, I guess you could say, and bulking. Like, I would fast for my productivity, and I think it's amazing, but to incorporate that with bulking and this idea that you need to get in breakfast, it's challenging. It's like, which one should you do? What's the right move? Because you want to be able to work at your most optimal, especially if you're a college student like I am, especially if you have work, right? Like that's majority of all of us watching this video, let's be honest. And if you're not, well, I don't know, do something, get a job, do something. But anyways, like I said, I think I'm going for the rest of Ramadan. Of course I'm going to have to keep fasting, right? And I will, but I'm really thinking about scrapping this idea of breakfast and moving it more towards the noon, because I just feel so insanely productive during the morning, and I get all the work that I need to get done. Because if you think about it, right, the benefit of being fasted while doing your work is that you, especially in the morning, being fasted in the morning while doing your work is that you are, first of all, fasted, so you don't feel lethargic from the effects of food or anything like that. Like let's be honest. Every time you have a meal, you feel like, all right, let me just lay down and watch some shit. Like, you don't ever feel productive. Let's be honest, right? You always feel sleepy. You always want to take a nap, especially in that afternoon crash. It happens to all of us, all right? And if it doesn't happen to you, lovely, great. I guess you don't need this video and you can click off. But for the most of us, you know, modern day people, you know, we get really, really sleepy and lethargic after big meals. And this is especially a big problem for people who are bulking, because people like me who are trying to bulk need need to find this balance between, okay, when can I eat my meals to where I'm not feeling lethargic? Because it needs to be, first of all, it needs to be time efficient, right? If you're eating a certain amount of meals a day, like eating too many meals a day is too time inefficient. So in my opinion, I think the best way to do it is eating like 2 big meals or something like that, or maybe 3 meals but postponed way throughout the day. That's what I'm thinking. That's what my thought process is. But ever since I've been doing Ramadan and I haven't had to eat, I've saved a lot of time and my productivity is skyrocketed. So it's done a lot better. It's like that homework that I would postpone and procrastinate on. Of course, it takes a little bit of mindset to not procrastinate and whatnot, but like most of us, I think the issue is when it comes to doing a lot of our work, most of us just don't feel like it. And I think part of the reason we don't feel like it is because of our diet. So first of all, you can't have a shit diet. Second of all, even if it isn't a shit diet, you can't simply eat a lot, or if any, during the morning. So I think the best way to go about it so far is how I'm seeing it in Ramadan, is just, all right, eat something. I think during the noon would be the best case scenario. Of course, you don't do this during Ramadan, but during Ramadan, you get this sense that you're, Jesus, I'm stumbling on my words like crazy, but as I was saying, I think during Ramadan, of course, you can't eat during the noon and whatnot, but all I'm saying is that I've learned that I think fasting during the time that you need to get your deep work done, such as your schoolwork or anything that you might want to do for your business, or some work that requires a lot of concentration, it'd be done fasted, and it'd be done in the morning when you don't have to deal with, I don't know, dude, your text messages from your girl or something, or like you're constantly being bothered by some people or social media, or you're watching YouTube videos, or you're on Netflix binging on. After all that, dude, you're not gonna feel like doing work. So rather than doing it, at night or afternoon or whatnot, you do it right at the morning, right? And you do it fasted. Now, of course, I've learned this from Ramadan, but I think as Ramadan ends, I think I will do this with water and whatnot. So it'll basically be intermittent fasting. And I've made a podcast episode on this before too, but the thing I didn't really focus on was the timing. And one other thing that I didn't take into consideration that I'm talking about right now is bulking. Bulking is a big issue while you're trying to fast. Why? I mean, I'll explain it, even though it might seem obvious. It's like, okay, you need to take a certain amount of time and fast, right? And a large portion of your time, if you're doing a lot of deep work concentration, will be spent fasting. So that means you have a smaller window of time to be able to get all your food intake in. And for guys like me who are trying to get like 3K calories, 4K calories, somewhere around that ballpark, or maybe even higher, but I'm no IFBB pro, so I'm not gonna do that. But generally it's just going to be really hard. And there's a few arguments that I think that could be made for this, I think 2 strong arguments. It's like, all right, so why don't you, instead of fasting, do like multiple meals a day? But like I said previously, I think that is a waste of my damn time. And frankly, for a lot of you, I know a lot of us work, a lot of us have school, so we can't just, skip class and, tell our manager, hey, I gotta go meal prep right quick. You can't just do that shit. You just can't, right? It's not time efficient, and it's not great, and you won't be able to do that all the time. It's just not going to happen. So I think something more realistic would be trying to train yourself like the old cavemen Neanderthals that we were, you know, a big meal at the end of the day type beat, and you're done. Now, of course, I realize that not a lot of us, if any of us, are going to be able to eat most of your calories, especially if you're bulking. Even if you're not bulking, actually, eating 2 to 2.5k calories, you know, all in one meal is just, that's draining, because as you're eating, you're also kind of like processing, and this is probably bro science, but like you're digesting that food and whatnot, you know, so naturally you just get slower and slower and slower until you're just like, all right, I'm either too full to eat, or, you know, I've stuffed myself to the point where I just don't want to keep eating. Like, I'm low on energy now, I'm lethargic, you know, because we all have those times where we're like eating and then we're watching a show and then we get too into it, and then, you know, next thing we know, we're slouched on our couch and we're not trying to eat shit, you know what I mean? You have those days, and then you put the food in the fridge, that type eating. So like I said, I think it'd be more efficient. I think the best way to go about it is wake up in the morning, fasted, drink water, that's fine, right? Of course, I'm on Ramadan right now, and most people that are on Ramadan are not going to do this, or, you know, it's just a realization that I've come up from Ramadan. But if I was on a normal schedule, what would I do? I would drink water, you know, wake up, drink water, and at noon is the best results I've seen, is like eating at noon, because that's usually when I'm done with my deep work. Or I think a better way to describe it would be like, at the end of one of your sessions of deep work, that's when you allow yourself to eat. When you've done most of your hard work, like things that you know take a lot of concentration, you allocate, I don't know, whatever you can tolerate, like 2 to 3 hours or 4 hours of deep work, and then you eat, okay? And then you try to have a big meal at the end of the day. I think that is the best way to go about it. And maybe if that's not possible, trying to do something more along the lines of eating at noon. And if you work out, which you should, I'm probably gonna you know, heads up, you know, the sidetrack, but I'm probably gonna make a little bit of a podcast episode about how to get started for beginners for working out, so like heads up for that. But best way to go about it, I think, is eat at noon, something with high protein and high fats, so like a lot of eggs basically. And then towards the beginning of your workout, like your pre-workout meal, I think that should be something like carbs, you know, just give you nice bit of energy, something little. Sorry, my phone battery, I don't know what happened there. I thought the video ended, but as I was saying, something little to split up, like between your dinner and whatnot. Say you have like 600 calories of rice, right? You take like 200 or 300 calories of that rice, and you just, you know, use it as your pre-workout meal, just so, you know, you have some energy, and like you might feel hungrier after, because now you've split that food up a little bit. But yeah, for the most part, I think this is something that's, not that I think, I know this has helped me with my productivity, because for the past few months, and this isn't going to be a justification for why I haven't been uploading or whatnot, that's a whole nother story, that's a whole nother thing, so I'm going to talk about that way later. But I think it's important, holy shit, that's a huge ass bug, but I think it's important to realize that your diet has a big effect on your productivity. And I don't care how healthy you eat, it does generally still sometimes, in my case at least, I don't know, maybe a lot of you are different out here, it makes me feel lethargic, maybe because I'm also bulking. But just trying to find the right times to when you should eat, that's been the biggest challenge. And I think if you could find that, you could really boost your productivity. Now, of course, what I said, you could kind of scale to how you want it to be and how your schedule works, and, you know, mold it to your liking. But if you heard nothing else that I said within this video, within this unfiltered video, right, all you need to know is, I know that your food, your diet, has an effect on your productivity, especially if you're bulking. And that's why I'm addressing the guys that are bulking, because for them it's a lot harder. So if you're not bulking, you're going to be able to follow this a lot easier than the guys that are, or the people that are, you know. I don't know what's in my eye, dog. I'm scratching away, but yeah, like I said, focus on trying to do most of your deep work in the morning and eat once all of that is done. And then if you need, you could take like a nap or something to kind of like start back up again, you know, because you get really lethargic, really sleepy. And if you can't afford to, you just got to power through it, knowing that you've at least done a lot of your deep work. So yeah, I just wanted to share that because I feel like, you know, most of us feel really tired and just don't want to do our work half the time. So, you know, I'm right there with you, you know, and I just want to be able to do a lot of my deep work and focus properly. And when you fast, dude, you feel like an absolute, like doing it enough, you start feeling like an absolute menace. Like you could keep doing a huge amount of workload for so damn long. It actually amazes me. I didn't think I was capable of doing the amount of work that I would do with all this. And I've been able to generate so many ideas for my podcast, so many ideas for things that I want to do. And it's just been great. Now, of course, there's going to be times where when you're fasting, especially during Ramadan, where like your focus just completely deteriorates, you know, and I know that's a whole different thing, but I think it just came to my mind, so I wanted to address it. For a lot of people, that is the case. And like I said, that's why I think, and it's happening to me right now. That's why I'm like stuttering like crazy and just like everywhere. Like I'm starting to lose that focus because it's around that time where I have to head home to break my fast. So, like I said, I think you're going to get the most benefit out of fasting early in the morning with water, and you don't do it for like a prolonged period of time, so that you can kind of recover with food, even though it will make you feel lethargic. Because I know, like I said, a lot of you people, you know, you feel really, really out of it when you're fasting or doing any sort of work like that, or doing any any sort of fasting for a prolonged amount of time, right? So, like I said, see how this suits you. Wake up earlier in the morning, you know, fast, do a lot of your most concentrated work for as long as you can, and try to test yourself and keep going. Like you're gonna be bad at it at first, just like I am at recording these videos. Like it is what it is. You gotta start somewhere. So yeah, but that was all on my mind. Peace. So let me quickly summarize the video. Moral of the story is, if you want to be able to do your concentrated deep work, you do it in the morning and you fast with water. And then when you feel as if you're starting to get hungry and if you're starting to lose focus, you eat. And then as it comes time to work out for you, you eat something right before your workout. You work out, and after that, and I want this to be little, nothing crazy. And then during your dinner, you just go crazy. Like you have a big meal, and in that time you can consume content to kind of like learn things or do something on the side, like watch my videos or do, you know, little peep. But like I said, consume something, and then what that'll help you do is like you'll get really, really lethargic and in turn sleepy. So might as well sleep then, you know what I mean? So just like the caveman days, hunt for food, be mad focused, and then at the end of the day, feast with your tribe. Boom, done. Go to sleep. There you go.